What's going on, guys? This is Paper Hats, and I'm actually making a video. I know, crazy, how about that? But yeah, this particular video is going to be a guide to Scorpia, which is one of the 3 new demi-bosses brought into old school Runescape with the introduction of the Rejuvenation of the Wilderness update. And well, the reason I'm making this video is because I've seen a couple of guides that have been made on YouTube regarding Scorpia, and they've all just been incredibly basic, and they've skimmed over many facts and like details and things, but they've also gotten a couple of things wrong. And I've gotten probably about 500 kills there. I've gotten like 5 shard drops so far. Sadly, all of them malediction, but you know, you can't win every time. But yeah, and yeah, for this reason I'm going to make this video, and it's just going to clear up a couple of misconceptions and stuff, and pretty much just see if I can share a couple of the hints and tips that I've learnt along the way. And yeah, here we go. Alright, okay, so this is the equipment setup that I have decided on, and this is through trial and error. I've tried loads of different equipment setups and stuff like that. I've tried Mystic, obviously. I've even tried Monk's Robes, because as it actually sort of comes down to it, Scorpia itself has very low magic defense, but the Guardians that spawn when it's on half health actually have very high magic defense. And I'm going to explain why that's important later, but yeah, that's the reason why I'm going to say you probably are going to prefer Arims for this. However, it all comes down to risk, and I'm basically 3-iteming with Arims and the Trident. I'm fine risking Mystic and Rune Gloves. That's what, 25k, even if that. The majority of your risk comes down to your runes and your potions that you're going to take with you, because, well, for the most part, as I said before, if a clan sees you, they're going to kill you, regardless of what you're wearing, regardless of what you're risking. And so wearing Monk's Robes or Mystic or anything isn't going to save you there. But what might save you is the additional defense bonuses of Arim. I'm not going to say it's impossible to get away. I have gotten away from many people many times, but you know, it's mainly luck, I guess. I will point out one thing though: if you are going to take Arim, you will need to bring a looting bag. That's absolutely vital, because a very common drop from Scorpia is a rune 2-handed sword, and if it drops one of those and you pick it up, obviously it's going to protect over your Arims. And so what you can do to get around that is put it into the looting bag, so it's automatically lost on death and you save your Arim basically. And so yeah, that's just one thing to bear in mind. Alright, okay, so as for the actual killing, one thing you're going to do, like between every kill, like once you're waiting for it to respawn, you're going to want to come outside. And that's just so basically that you save prayer points, because you don't have to constantly pray range. And also, if you stood here in this particular spot, it's a lot harder for the Scorpions to attack you, so that you're not in combat, and you can log out if you see any clan coming or anything. It saved me once or twice. And the reason why I'm going to say use this spot rather than the other 2 that you can see on the minimap is that if you're standing there, you are within range of the Chaos Elemental, and so if it just so happens to wander over this way, it will be able to attack you. And, well, yeah, I think by now the Scorpia should have actually respawned. So you've got to make sure that your run energy is, well, run is turned on, activated. Going to want to pray range the second you come in here, and from what I can see, oh yes, it has spawned. You're going to want to try and get at least probably 2 hits off before you freeze it. Just in time there, excellent. And the reason you're going to want to do that is so that by the time that barrage wears off and it becomes unfrozen, hopefully it will have already gone below half health, and the Guardians will have spawned. And so if you can freeze them the second they spawn, and from the looks of things I'm hitting really bad, so this isn't going to work out, but that's fine, you know, you just got to pretty much just roll with it. Alright, okay, I think that's actually, yeah, that's trapped under it, and so it can't attack it. Fantastic. The thing is with the Guardians, if you can freeze them in a position of which they can't reach Scorpia, if they can't reach it within, you know, 5 seconds or something, or 4-5 seconds, something like that, they disappear. And so you don't actually have to kill them. And so I've seen many guys which have always said that you need to kill them, but you just don't. And it just saves a few of your supplies and stuff. It saves time, more importantly, so you're able to get more kills per trip. And just basically save a lot of wasted effort. And I mean, that wasn't perfect, but it was a pretty much just standard kill. I'm going to throw in a couple more so you can see what happens throughout, you know, different situations, really. And, well, yeah, here we go. I'll wait for the next one. Alright, okay, so it should have respawned by now. The respawn time isn't actually that bad because, well, it's not that high a level, really. One thing I find is sort of, if you're hanging about in more occupied worlds, then obviously the chance of being bumped to by a clan is a bit higher. But, yeah, I'd actually sort of recommend that you do this on the mornings rather than on an evening, because there are so many more clans which are active basically on a night, and so the chance of being PK'd is much, much higher on an evening and on a night. But yeah, as far as the killing goes, I mean, pretty much standard. All this is going fairly well so far. Apart from, yeah, splashed on that Guardian. And only hit it one that time. Oh, 15, whatever. I don't think you actually get the normal XP drops from the Guardians, which is kind of throwing me off slightly with that. But, yeah, I would actually recommend using the Orion client for this, which I'm not a fan of, because it just seems a bit dodgy and weird for me. But the XP drops are very, very useful, and also using its HP bar there, you can sort of figure out when the Guardians are going to spawn and that kind of thing, which, again, is very helpful. There's a lot of running around during the actual kills, and for that reason I'm probably going to say that you're going to want maybe 50 plus agility to come here, because basically just so you have enough run energy and things like that. And also it's worth noting that Arim's is heavier than Mystic, so if you keep finding that you're running out of run energy, that might be an idea just to swap out. But yeah, when it comes to your actual supplies, Scorpia drops 3 Admiral's Pies and prayer pots quite often, really, and so the vast majority of the time what actually causes you to end a trip is either running out of spells to cast, or if PKs come. And so yeah, if you're going to have to like tank 1 or 2 hits, it's not really the end of the world. You're gonna be fine. I mean, Scorpia really doesn't hit that hard. It's just not that much of a big deal. I mean, if you really are running low on food, man, I guess you can even use blood spells to heal yourself, but for the most part, it's just not necessary. And as we can see there, that's actually quite a good example of what I was trying to show, or what I hope to show. The reason I keep trying to lure it so it's up against the wall is that if you catch a freeze, it's quite likely that when the Guardians spawn, one will spawn underneath it, and so if you can freeze it while it's still underneath it, then it means it has no possible chance of healing Scorpia at all. And they sort of heal about 15 HP, like each little spell thing they cast, and so it's like counteracting one of your spells from the trident like each time they heal it, and so, you know, it's just one more thing which just helps out a little bit. Okay, so it should have respawned by now, and look, did not know that you could see that from here. But yeah, that just once again reinforces the thing to basically bear in mind, that the Chaos Elemental is close, and if it just so happens to reach you, you're going to be in trouble. It's going to waste a lot of your supplies. Again, the whole sort of like luring thing doesn't really change at all. Just try and get a couple of spells off before you get the barrage on. Another thing to bear in mind is, like, you don't always have to barrage. If you find that you don't happen to get it below half health before your first barrage wears off, it might be worth doing a blitz, because of course the damage is about the same really, but the freeze time is 5 seconds less, so it's just a bit more helpful when you're wanting to freeze the Guardians out of range. Right, as for the actual drops, you'll find that it'll drop a lot of rune items. I mean, a hell of a lot. It's got a really, really good drop table, really. Because, like, common drops here are rune sims, rune two-hands, as I've already mentioned, rune warhammers all the time. There's so many of them, as well as rune pickaxes. I had 17 yesterday, which is weird. But yeah, that's really cool, because like as for trying to sell them to make money, you don't really have to, because you can just alch them, which is really helpful. Something else to bear in mind when you're here is if you are getting attacked by a clan, it's probably best not to fight back. And, well, the reason is, like, the main way that you can actually fight people is by casting Ice Barrage, which is very, very effective. I've actually killed 2 people that have come and kill me before, simply by barraging back when they're trying to kill me. But, of course, Barrage is a multi-opponent spell, and so saying if you're getting attacked and you barrage back and you hit one of like their teammates that haven't hit you yet, you're gonna skull, and so that's really gonna throw a spanner in the works in that one. And so yeah, just something to bear in mind. I guess that pretty much wraps up the video guide. I hope it's been helpful. Hopefully it's been informative and stuff. I think I've covered everything. I've showed quite a couple of kills here just to get a rough idea of what you're going to be coming up against, and yeah, all I can say really is just good luck and happy hunting.